Yes, guys, happy Sunday. Made it. Wow. So today's going to be day 7 of 7 for this week, the first full week of January 2026. I can officially tick off one complete week of doing a video every day, which is, of course, an achievement if you're getting into something new for the first time. How many people would have started channels and after the first 3 days, they call it quits? So happy to be here. Obviously, so much longer to go if I'm saying that the entire year is the plan, but we can only take it day by day and I can tick off today. So today's topic is you can't choose your family. And there's two sides to this that I'm going to discuss. When I was thinking of the title, it was more just the side of like, you know, sometimes we have certain personal situations with family members and it's like no matter what, they're your family. But then also it kind of shows me the empowerment that we get when we choose our friends. And like our friends are our chosen family. They're the people that we decide to be connected with despite not actually having to be. So we'll cover that side of things as well. But what do I mean when I say we can't choose our family? It's mainly just like, look, what I've come to learn as I've gotten older is no family situation is perfect. There's always a one person that's dealing with this thing. Maybe it's drug addiction. Maybe it's procrastination and laziness. Like genuinely, it could be the smallest things like human flaws are amplified in the family setting is something that I've come to learn, you know? So, but you can't choose it. You know, you could be dealing with a family member who's maybe an alcoholic and you can so badly see the potential in them and want for them to change and believe that they can be so much better than they are. But that vice is holding them back. And if it's a friend, you can simply just say, you know what, I don't really want to deal with this anymore. I'm going to part ways, which you can technically do with family, but even then, they're still your family. Like, if that was my older brother who was the alcoholic, even if I moved across the country and, completely separated myself, that's still my brother. Whereas with a friend, it doesn't have that same ties, but that's once again what makes it empowering, how you can actually choose your friends. But in that situation, you can't choose your family. And there's like a million and one examples. I'm probably a minor case compared to some of the stories I've heard about people that have parents or family members that have sexually assaulted them. They've been victims of some insane things, physically abused them, verbally abused them, held them back from certain opportunities, like intentionally kept them in a certain place. These are the things that people are actually dealing with when it comes to family. And even then, you still don't get to choose who is your family. So it's like, it's definitely a more personal one. I've obviously been reflecting today on some things going on in my own life. And it's like, listen, first things first, I'll say it now. I'm grateful for every single person that I get to call a family member. You're not entitled to anything. I could be completely alone in the world. So to have a family is a major blessing, despite anything else that could be going on internally or conditions in certain things. Like, no, you're blessed to be able to have a family because there's people that are out there in the world alone who would kill to even have a toxic family member. Do you get what I mean? So that's where my head is at on that. But let's even talk about on the flip side of that now when it comes to your friends. Since I got into digital marketing, like honestly, my network pretty much exploded in a way. Obviously, I'm not saying I know everybody in the world, but I've had the chance to meet people I would have never met because I decided to go down this path. One thing I think is because it's purely an online thing, right? So you're not really limited in terms of geography. Obviously, visiting Dubai frequently helped me to meet other people as well, which, the whole thing around that. But yeah, honestly, I've had the chance to really find people that align with me because I think I said it in a video a few days back about like sometimes your friends are based on geography and just like, oh, this person grew up locally to me, so now they're my friend, and it's like because of digital marketing and actually having an online skill and you have Google Meets and Zoom calls to actually interact with people. There's now no borders. There's no boundary. There's no zip code or postal code that I have to operate within. So I've been able to meet some people that have just been like unbelievable. Honestly, like they've changed my life. It's completely changed my life being able to have access to these people. And like I'm still so early in my journey, but because I've obviously continued to grow and evolve within myself, it's meant that I get access to a different caliber of people. But I say that in all humility, guys. Like everything's a privilege to me. I'm absolutely a nobody, so everything's just a straight bonus. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I've met with other digital marketers who have given me priceless advice, which has changed my own thinking and allowed me to provide better services for the clients I'm dealing with. I've met people who just absolutely get the mindset. You know, I've been able to meet people that are further along that have just like pulled me up in a way. And when I think about it, it's actually so interesting. So it's the rough with the smooth, because this is not a video on appreciation of friends. It's just, once again, goes to the empowerment that we have in terms of being able to choose our own family. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's where you just got to take the rough with the smooth. But listen, don't need to run this video for long. You'll notice that there was a little glitch in there because my camera ran out of storage, but all good. Yeah, guys, like, so I guess if we're going to talk about actionable things, because normally I'm asking a question, but in terms of you can't choose family, that's a statement. So what do I really want anyone to take away from that? I guess one is to just be grateful regardless of the circumstance. And I know that's so easy for me to say. Trust me, I know. But there's this exercise in stoicism where you imagine a family member was dead. And you just have to sit and visualize it. But like, not just say, oh, imagine if this person was dead, but like actually go through what that would look like. You know, they're now gone, handling those emotions, dealing with the funeral, explaining to people that they're now gone, navigating life without that person. And that normally changes your perspective on things. It makes you a bit more grateful for the people that you have. For example, I remember a few years back, I was working with a colleague and they lost their mum on the job. Like, they were from Romania, their parents were back home, they were providing, sending money back over there, and their mum had passed away. He was like in bits. I didn't even see him. I heard him, like absolute bits. And like, I internalized it and I called my mom. I was like, because but that could have been me. That could have very much been me, you know. I'm not entitled to having my mum around for my entire life. She's going to go one day. The thought of that breaks my heart completely. So it's like, you just appreciate the people. So that's just one thing you can do. But in saying that as well, look, sometimes it is just a toxic situation and you're better off without that person, you know. If you've been sexually abused, verbally abused, physically abused by someone continuously and they have no desire to change and it's only going to get worse for you, then of course you should step away from that situation. So listen, guys, on one hand, be super grateful. On the other hand, don't be prepared to protect yourself, because you have nothing to gain from being a beaten stick. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, once again, happy Sunday. Next week, we got a big week ahead. If you're watching this, I'm praying for you to have an amazing week. I'm going all guns blazing. Same as this week, just consistency, day by day. That's all we can do. Thank you for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.